Hi everyone, it is alenajingle again, back with video 13 in the series I've been doing on alternatives to popular boy names. For this video, I'm going to be talking about names 40 through 36, and I just want to share with everyone that since the last video I posted, we have adopted a baby girl, and her name is KETURAH Wyatt. The number 40 name for the year 2014 was Hunter, which is of course an English name that means someone that hunts. Occupational names are obviously super in right now, so it makes sense that Hunter is popular. And I really strongly associate this name with country singer Hunter Hayes. I really like a lot of his music, so that's a very good association for me. I actually have a step cousin with this name who is absolutely adorable. I've also been seeing this name used more and more often on girls, though I do personally find it a much better choice for boys. This name has been in the top 100 boy names since 1993 and has always been in the top 1,000 boy names in the US. The first Hunter alternative I have is Gunther. Gunther is a German name that means war army. This name can also be pronounced Gunther. And this name is so uncommon in the US. I was really surprised to see that it's never been in the top 1,000 boy names in the US. I guess I feel like it has a really super accessible sound. And since there are several boy names ending in ER in the top 100 boy names, such as Hunter, Carter, Cooper, and Parker, I think this would work super well on a baby born in 2015. A lot of people will probably associate this name with a character from the TV show Friends. When I googled Gunther, that association came up quite a bit, but I have never watched the show, so I don't really know much about that association. And I think that someone who likes Hunter might like Gunther for its very similar sound. My next Hunter alternative I have is HUNTLEY. This is an English name that means hunting meadow. There was a popular 90s actor named Huntley Ritter, and I just think someone that likes Hunter might like Huntley for that hunt beginning sound. I think Huntley is very handsome, and I have been seeing it used. I do think it'll enter the top 1,000 soon, which is wonderful. And the last Hunter alternative is my favorite, and it is THERON. I'm sure any of you that know me well probably guessed I would mention this name. THERON is a Greek name that means hunter. This is the name of my older son, who is 2.5. This name is used quite a bit, especially as a surname in South Africa, and they pronounce it THERON there, which is also a gorgeous pronunciation, and I think it is useful as well. This name is strongly associated with actress Charlize Theron, and since I do have a son named Theron, I have discovered that probably about 2/3 of the people that meet him say they know a Theron, which is insane to me because it's never been in the top 1,000 boy names in the US before. Of course, I think that somebody who likes Hunter might like Theron because THERON means hunter. And at number 39 in the year 2014 was the name Wyatt. This is an English name that means brave battle. Wyatt Hawn Russell is the son of Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn, and would then be the brother of actress Kate Hudson. There are also a couple of other celebrity babies with this name. Sheryl Crow has a son named Wyatt, and I'm sure everybody knows that Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis just named their daughter Wyatt. I do think this name is probably more suited for a boy. This is one of those names that I see in most classrooms. I have worked in an elementary school before and in several daycares. This is also a name that I tend to see on naughty children. It could just be that most of the kids I come across are a bit naughty. When I was growing up, we vacationed in Florida most years, and there was always a family that would vacation in the same spot that had a little boy named Wyatt. And it's been a long time since I've been there, and so now he's no longer a little boy. I think he either just graduated high school or will soon, and so that is interesting to see it on somebody in their upper teens or maybe even early 20s when it didn't get super crazy popular until the 2000s. This has been in the top 100 boy names since 2004 and has always been in the top 1,000 boy names in the US. My first Wyatt alternative I have is HYATT. This is another English name that means high gate. A lot of people are going to associate this with a super popular hotel chain. And there is actually an actress named Hyatt Michael. I do find Hyatt definitely not very feminine just because it is so similar to Wyatt. There is also a Hyatt from the show True Detectives that is getting really popular right now. And I think someone that likes Wyatt might like Hyatt, of course, because they're only one letter apart. The next Wyatt alternative I have is WILEY. WILEY is an English name that means crafty. There is a rap star with this name. And of course, everybody associates this with Wile E. Coyote, even though his name was Wyle and then his middle name was E. But I do find that a really sweet association. My husband and I love Looney Tunes, and that could be a fun bedroom theme. Another really great association with this name that I found was that there was a man named Wiley Post, and he was the first man to fly solo around the world. So great for an aviator's child or someone who loves aviation. His name was in the top 1,000 boy names through 1974 and has not been since. think that someone that likes Wyatt might like Wiley because they're both two-syllable surname names that start with the Y sound. And my last Wyatt alternative I have is WILLET. WILLET is an English name that means little Will, so this could obviously easily honor a William as well. Willet is the name of a type of shore bird. Willet is also the name of a Christian rock band. I think that someone that likes Wyatt might like Willet because they do have a very similar sound. They'll start with W and then the et sound. At number 38 in the year 2014 was the name Nathan. This is a Hebrew name that means he gave. I adore this name. I think it is super, super handsome. And I really love seeing it as a middle name. I've only ever met one person with the middle name Nathan, but because it has been so popularly used as a first name, I think it would be super cool to see more often as a middle name in 2015. Nathan is, of course, the name of an Old Testament prophet. There's an actor named Nathan Fillion from the show Castle, and I associate this name with the musical Guys and Dolls. I was in that production when I was in 7th grade, and Nathan Detroit is one of the names of the main characters from that movie and musical. This name is going down in popularity, but has been at the top 100 boy names since 1972. By that definition, it is dated, which is another reason why I do prefer to see it as a middle name, but I think it is super, super handsome again, and yeah, I just think it's gorgeous. This name has been in the top 300 boy names always in the US. The first Nathan alternative I have is CATHAN. This is a Gaelic name that means battle. There was a Scottish monk by the name of CATHAN, and there is a city in Washington that's called CATHAN. But otherwise, this name is so, so, so rare all over the world that I didn't find too many associations with it, but I think it is super accessible because it is only one letter different from Nathan. I think that someone who likes Nathan might like CATHAN for that reason. My next Nathan alternative I have is NAHUM. This is a Hebrew name that means compassion or comfort. This is a current name crush of mine. Well, my friend Amelia, who is everything baby names on YouTube, was in town recently. We did film a video, and I did mention the name NAHUM some of that, so you should go check that out as well. This name is typically pronounced NAHUM in Israeli communities. This is the name of an Old Testament minor prophet and also the name of one of the books in the Bible. I think it would be so cool to see a little boy named Nahum in 2015, and I think it makes a great Nathan alternative since they're both biblical names and have a very similar sound. And my last Nathan alternative I have is GETHIN. GETHIN is a Welsh name that means dark-skinned. There is a young British actor named Gethin Anthony that I associate this name with. This name is definitely used mainly in Wales since it is a Welsh name, but again, I think this has a very accessible sound for kids born in 2015. It's also similar to Gavin, which is very popular, and I think that someone likes Nathan might like Gethin since they're both two-syllable names ending in that thun sound. At number 37 in the year 2014 was Ryan. This is an Irish name that means little king. This name has been popular for a long time, so there are lots of famous associations with this name. I think that a lot of people associate this name with actors Ryan Reynolds and Ryan Gosling. I also associate this with Ryan O'Neal, who was the husband of Farrah Fawcett. This has been in the top 100 boy names since 1971 and first entered in the top 1,000 boy names in the 1940s. Because it's been popular for so long and is going down in popularity, I find it really dated personally, and I typically say that I prefer dated names as middle names, but I honestly see Ryan as a middle name for boys very often too. So I think that if you would like to use Ryan or honor a Ryan, that maybe using one of these alternatives might be a little more fresh in 2015. My first Ryan alternative I have is CYAN. This is a Greek and English name that means, of course, the greenish blue color. This is one of the typical Crayola crayon colors, and I don't really see this used very often on people, but I think it is super accessible because of that similar sound. I think that someone that likes Ryan might like CYAN because they're only one letter apart, and once again, this could very easily honor a Ryan as well. Next Ryan alternative I have is Riley. Riley is an English name that means rye meadow, and spelled R-E-I-L-L-Y. It is an Irish name that means courageous. Really great meaning. So Riley used to be fairly popular for boys. It's definitely not right now. I had never thought much of the name Riley because it kind of seemed like a 90s name, especially for girls to me, until I saw the actor Xavier Samuel play Riley in the Twilight movies, and I just thought he was a really great actor and extremely good looking, and so he made me like the name Riley quite a bit. There was a popular actor in the 90s named Riley Smith. He was in New York Minute, which is a Mary-Kate Ashley movie. He was from Freaks and Geeks, and now he's in the show Nashville. I also thought it was really cool that singer B.B. King was actually born Riley King. That was his birth name. Riley is ranked at 173 currently and is, like I mentioned earlier, going down in popularity. Riley was actually only in the top 100 boy names for 1 year, and that was in 2002, and has always been in the top 1,000 boy names. And I think that someone that likes Ryan might like Riley for that similar sound and surname feel. And my last Ryan alternative is definitely the most unique, and I think it's super cool, and that is Rycroft. Rycroft is an English name that means rye field. This name is extremely strongly associated with Melissa Rycroft, who's a cheerleader and from the show The Bachelor. Rycroft is also the name of a village in Alberta, Canada, but otherwise this is extremely uncommon as a given name anywhere in the world. But I think Rycroft would actually be very accessible because there is a huge fan cult following of the show Sherlock, and the similar name Mycroft is one of the characters from that show, and so I think that someone who is a Sherlock fan might like the name Rycroft for that reason, and I think that someone who likes Ryan might like Rycroft since they're both surname names that begin with the Ry sound. And my last name for this video at number 36 in the year 2014 was the name Owen. This is an English form of Eugene, which means well born. Very good meaning. I associate this with actors Owen Wilson and Clive Owen. And in the Star Wars movies, Luke Skywalker's guardian and uncle was named Owen Lars. Really handsome name right there. In the new Jurassic Park movie, Jurassic World, Chris Pratt's character was named Owen Grady, so you might associate that name with him. I think the name Owen is so gorgeous. I totally get why this name is popular. I could easily use it as a middle name if my husband liked it and if I didn't have relatives that have used it or are considering using it. This name is rising in popularity and has been in the top 100 boy names since the year 2002 and has always been in the top 1,000 boy names in the US. My first Owen alternative I have is Owenson. This is, of course, an English name that means son of Owen. This is a very, very common surname. And another similar alternative that I'll mention quick too would just be Owens as well. Owenson and Owens could both easily honor an Owen, and they could have the nickname Owen. So obviously this would be a great alternative to think about if you like the name Owen but want to use something that's popular. And my next Owen alternative I have is Oren. Oren is a Hebrew name that means pine tree, and spelled O-R-I-N. It is an Irish name that means pale green, so that's a really fun meaning too. Oren Paley is the name of the producer of the Paranormal Activity movies, and I actually have a cousin whose first and middle name is Oren Clyde. He's the middle of 5 siblings, and they all have beautiful names. I actually read a book when I was in elementary school, and I cannot remember the title of it, unfortunately, but I reread it again a few years ago. It was a beautiful book, and one of the characters' names in that book was Oren with the O-R-E-N spelling, and he went by Rennie as a nickname, so that would be something to consider if you're thinking about using the name Oren. This name was in the top 1,000 boy names up through 1953 and not since, and I think that someone who likes Owen might like Oren since they're only one letter apart in spelling and pronunciation. And my last Owen alternative I have is Ewan. Ewan is a Scottish form of John, which means God's grace. I think the majority of people that hear Ewan or see Ewan will definitely associate it with actor Ewan McGregor. I definitely like several of the movies that he is in, especially Big Fish. That's one of my all-time favorite movies. And I think Ewan is definitely a name lover's name. I think I've heard a lot of people say they like this, but nobody ever quite uses it. And I definitely think if you like Owen, you should totally consider using Ewan. It has a very similar look and sound. Thank you so much again for watching this video. Please let me know what your favorites were of the names that I listed and any others that I didn't mention that you think would make great alternatives for these names. And stay tuned for the next one. Have a great day.